Hey, what is up guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Gran Turismo 7. So in this video I'm going to take you through all 4 of the new events that came with update 1.35 for Gran Turismo 7, and well, I'm going to be straight up here. They're pretty terrible. Now usually I would do a bit of a guide for them, but in all honesty you don't really need one. I'll give you an overview of the basic strategy, but the main thing I'm going to be doing is actually talking about the events themselves, because this is just absolutely pitiful at this point. The main thing most of the Gran Turismo 7 community is really crying out for is the ability to have proper events to be able to, you know, repeat and actually feel like they're able to, you know, get the most out of all the cars in the game, you know, just some actual quality content. And in all honesty, this one just felt like a slap in the mouth. So the first event I want to talk about is the Japanese 4-wheel drive challenge 600 at the Red Bull Ring, and as you can see, it's a 3-lap event, and this will be a bit of a recurring theme I'm going to talk about throughout this video, and it'll kind of make sense hopefully by the end. So as you can see, first place as a standard payout is 45,000 credits, which with a clean race bonus will have the 50% boost to it. So essentially I'm just going to use the Mitsubishi Evo 3 here just because it's a new car, it's something fresh. I built it to just under 600 pp. Now I believe that is just a recommendation for this event. Again, you can probably go over. I know in most of these events it kind of recommends you a pp and you can just kind of fly over. It's a 3-lap sprint, there's nothing to it. No tie wear, no strategy, just kind of go for it. You know, that's all you really need to do. This was the first event of the 4 that I actually tried, and it was absolutely awesome being able to use the Evo 3. Just the main thing is the event itself is just very, very boring. You know, like I said, it's a 3-lap sprint. There's nothing else to it. You know, don't go into this event at least, you know, expecting anything such as maybe weather, although this is a track that does quite heavily feature dynamic weather where it can rain and stuff like that. There's none of that. There's no strategy. There's no tyre wear or anything like that. Not like we kind of used to get back in the day when we had something like the Roadster race where it was like 4 hours long or anything like that. It is literally just a typical copy-paste event, and this does feel like a massively recurring theme. All of these events they're adding, it's all good putting them in, but they're pretty much all sprint races. There is another problem that I'll talk about when it comes to the, I guess, biggest event of the bunch in quotation marks, which still isn't very big. But overall, these sprint events are just a recurring theme. Usually if you get 5 events, 4 of them are very, very short, quick sprint races. So as you can see, we did this one in about 5 minutes. So that is just one of the events done out of the 4 within 5 minutes time of jumping on Gran Turismo 7. It's really, really not very good. So yeah, okay, in terms of the payout, again, it's not bad for 3 laps and 5 minutes of your time. It's 67,000 credits with the clean race bonus. Then we're going to talk about one that really, really did disappoint me. The Fisherman's Ranch 4-wheel drive, again, Japanese challenge 600, whatever you want to call it. Just a single lap, 30,000 credits. Obviously it'll be 45,000 with a clean race bonus. Doubt you're really going to get that here because of the dirt physics. And okay, whilst the dirt physics aren't absolutely fantastic in GT7, in fact they're really quite terrible, overall it was an opportunity to make use of these cars. They're obviously road going versions of rallying legends. You know, these are massively popular cars from the old WRC scene, and people even to this day remember those iconic cars, and it's just the road going versions. You know, this is clearly catered towards road going cars on dirt tires, so why not make it a decent sized event? You know, why can't we have, you know, a longer event on the dirt? Okay, the dirt physics aren't great, like I said, but it's still fun. It's something different, and again, it just feels like the dirt portion of this game just kind of gets overlooked. You know, a bit kind of like Music Rally until this latest update. It just feels like it's kind of just there. You know, we've had the Rallycross track added in. That's kind of mixed surface. That's an awesome little track. But in terms of sort of the older events, it's very rare we actually get anything for these kind of off-road or, you know, dirt tracks, rally tracks, whatever you want to call them. And this would have been a perfect opportunity considering the heritage of the Evo 3 and the Impreza WRX STI that we got. So yeah, big missed opportunity. Putting it as a single lap just seems like an absolute insult, which means you're going to be completing this event in, yeah, believe it or not, around about 3 minutes. An entire event that takes 3 minutes to complete For me, it is just an absolutely poor showing. I really just wanted this extended to at least 5 laps, you know, which would have been around about 15 minutes, just to kind of, you know, play around with it and just have some fun on the dirt. The amount of cars that are on track, again, doesn't feel like that much. You know, there is even, you know, a pit lane at these tracks, but we never ever make use of it. It would just be, you know, crying out for just some extra, you know, I guess, rally time and dirt time with these cars. I just really feel like it is a massive missed opportunity. So let's have a look at my overall time. 3 minutes 20 for an event. It just really doesn't seem worth it, to be quite honest. It seems very pointless actually putting this in the game. Someone took their time to program this to a 1-lap event, set the cars that are actually going to be running in it, and then you obviously set the PP limits and all that stuff. It's just really bizarre that they wasted time putting on that. So that's 2 out of the 4 events that have been very quick sprint races. 8 minutes total in half of the events. Now we're going to move on next to the one that essentially is the Valkyrie's kind of, I guess, race. So the hypercar parade does return. Obviously this time it's to kind of make use of the Valkyrie, which came with this update. So 90,000 credits for this at St Croix, which in my honest opinion is just not a fun track at all. And yeah, it's a 3-lap race. So again, another sprint format. So how long do we think this one's going to take? Well, yeah, not that long. In around about 10 minutes, usually just under or maybe just over if you have a bit of an off or anything like that, you're going to be done with this event. And again, this is an event that should realistically be showcasing that Valkyrie, which is a stunning model. It's an exciting car to have in the game. It's a very, very entertaining car to drive, but you're going to get 10 minutes in it, you know, I guess in Polyphony's words, or kind of what they want to show. You know, I guess the whole idea of these events, and it is a bit of a running theme, is that they're all kind of themed around whatever new cars we get. So why is the likes of 5 minutes acceptable, 3 minutes acceptable, and 10 minutes acceptable in these new cars? And then, to be honest, where are you going to use them after that other than custom races, which a lot of people won't do because the payouts aren't good enough? You know, it just seems absolutely bizarre that they're putting all this effort into the vehicles and then just giving us nowhere to use them, which means there is many amazing cars in this game, many that have been added post-launch, that people just will never ever use after the first time. People are putting 3 or 4 million out on them, using them once for the new event, and then that is it. It just ends up at the bottom of your list in the garage. It's just really stupid. Again, you won't have to worry about tyre wear or anything like that for this event. You're going to win it nice and easily. I'm assuming most people will choose to use the new vehicle for it. It'd be kind of weird not to be quite honest. It's the perfect event for it. So yeah, it's just, again, massively disappointing. 10 minutes for this event, which essentially means so far we've had 3 out of 4 events and we've had around about 18 to 19 minutes playtime for a update. It just, yeah, not good enough in my opinion. So as you can see here, we're going around the left-hander. I kind of just got the rear end of this car out because it is a massively fun car to kind of drift and skid about. And we're going to go over the line even with a big off in 10 minutes 12 seconds. So there you go. Really not good. In terms of the payout, it's not too bad. Like, getting paid that much for all of, you know, 10 minutes of your time ain't too bad. In terms of the clean race bonus, I'm pretty sure I didn't get it for this one. I'll go and have a look in a minute. But as you can see, fastest lap of 3 minute 19, which again isn't too good. No upgrades to this car or anything like that. 10 minutes total time, 135,000 credits. So yeah, I think I must have got the clean race bonus. So I guess the only real saving grace for this is that the payout's actually not too bad if you kind of take into account the amount of time you're using to actually do the event and the amount that you're getting to be able to kind of drive around one of the new cars. But after that, well, yeah, it doesn't get any better. And this is where my biggest criticism comes in. So 3 of the 4 events have been sprints, and then this happens. This is the World Touring Car 800. Now, it's probably one of the most, I guess, iconic names in terms of Gran Turismo 7 events, mainly because of Spa and Sardinia. It's a 10-lap event. However, the payout, 160,000 credits for 10 laps. And whilst it's not as long as something like Sardinia, it's just absolutely poor. And it's not going to bring anyone to this event. Like, they're not going to want to complete it once and then keep coming back. So I'll just give you a quick basic overview of the strategy. And this is another downside. There is no real strategy. Stick your car in fuel mix free, put a set of mediums on, and you will just go to the end on a zero stop. You won't need to pit, you won't need to really worry about your tyre life, because even if the tyres wear off, you can guarantee if you've got a stable enough car, it's not going to spin or anything like that. I essentially went around for the last 3 or 4 laps, essentially just on no tyres at all. Again, it was super easy. It really wasn't a struggle. You've just got to fuel save, try and keep your tyre life as long as possible, and you won't need to do a pit stop. And most of the AI, yeah, they ain't going to pit either. So there's no real strategy to this event, and this is the other side of the coin. They put in these events that look longer. Obviously the World Touring Car 800 is the kind of events that are usually longer in this game, and they're the ones that we kind of look forward to seeing. But this is around about like the second or third time they've done this now post launch, or should I say realistically after the grinding events that we've been doing the same 3 or 4 for the last over a year now. Yeah, and it's just been a really poor showing. There's just nothing to these events, and overall in terms of your completion time, it's not going to be that long either. There's really nothing to this event. There's again a track that features weather that has no weather. It was something I kind of noticed in the Super Formula event that came last, I think last update, so 1.34, that the weather just kind of bugged out and never came. In this one, it's just not really set at all, at least as far as I know. It was sunny, nice weather the whole time, but this is a track that could take advantage and could throw a few curveballs to really have tyre strategies and all that come into play. If the event was longer and it had that weather enabled, it could really be a fun race. The grid's packed, you know, it's the typical 20 car grid, some of the most iconic cars in Gran Turismo 7, some of the most recognizable Porsches, Alfa Romeos, Subarus, Lexus. You know, you've got them all here in a race that is crying out for a proper strategy and a really, you know, decent length to it with a good payout. And honestly, you've got yourself onto a winner, but none of that is present. It just seems absolutely bizarre that Polyphony just seem to be blatantly ignoring people's requests at this point. And that is the main thing I see whenever I make videos about updates or, you know, what we want to see soon. The top rated thing straight away is events. You know, you do get the specific car ones, but I kind of ignore those because that comes down to licenses and stuff. But in terms of making events for this game, with the amount of tracks, layouts, weather and all that stuff that's in the game, not doing it after so long, after putting a bunch in at the start of the game's life cycle and then just completely, you know, I guess ignoring that since, is just, there's no excuse at this point. And as you can see here, we had the time of 18 minutes 10.117, and most of that was on shredded tires. So if you're going to be sensible, expect well under 18 minutes. So that means in total we got around about 40 minutes time from these 4 events, and that is supposed to be a monthly update. Again, it really cannot be too hard in terms of actually putting these events in the game, or do what a lot of people have recommended: up the custom race payout so we can just do it ourselves. Then they don't have to go to the effort of making these events, disappointing people, and giving giving all these cars and giving nobody anywhere to actually run these new things, or at least run them for a decent amount of time. And on top of that, you've obviously got the credit issue. Whilst money's not hard to come by, it's boring to come by, if that kind of makes sense. You know, the payouts in the game aren't necessarily bad for the longer events, it's just really terrible for anything either side of that. So there's really got to be something done for this this game at this point. I honestly think it's just becoming more and more tired. Every time an update drops like this, I can just feel my own motivation dropping, and I just get sick and tired of trying to hold hope. And, you know, why would I defend a game when everything just feels so lazy and put together, when the things that really need changing could be changed very, very quickly? I really don't understand what Polyphony are actually doing at the minute. This game has so many fantastic features, so many things that it could really take advantage of. It's just almost like the developers at this point really just don't want to do that. And if that really does evolve around the economy and this whole microtransaction things, which, let's be honest, I barely know a single person that has purchased them, which means they cannot be earning that much off them. Why is it still being centered or catered towards that system at this point in the game's life cycle? It just seems like a massive flop. Let me know what you think of the events down below. I am really interested. For me, these are some of the worst ones I've actually ever been given in terms of this game for the post-launch content. So let me know what you think down below. Don't forget to come and follow me on Patreon and become a member. I'll see you all later on, guys. Take care. Peace.